Right. Hi guys. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening also. Now we are going to start with the chapter of the charge of GST. What is the meaning of the charge? Charge means levy or impose. Levy or impose. Actually, the article number 246A of the Constitution, article number 246A of the Constitution authorizes the both central government and state government to make laws. That is, by virtue of the article number 246A, the central government and state government getting power for levy of the GST. Is it? Now, when the article given, when the article empower the central government or state government for levy of the GST, such power must be exercised through an act. That means the central government and state government has to make laws for levy of the GST, and in such laws there should be an authorization, there should be a levy, there should be a levy, there should be an impose. Such impose has been provided under section 9 of the CGST Act. That is, section 9 of the CGST Act empowered the central government for levy of GST on intrastate supplies, as well as section 5 of the IGST Act. Section 5 of the IGST Act empowered the central government for levy of IGST on interstate supply. So that section 9 of the CGST Act or section 5 of the IGST Act, section 9 of the CGST Act or section 5 of the IGST Act, both are charging sections. These are charging sections. That is nothing but these two sections are empower the central government for levy of GST. That is the reason why we are considering these sections as a charging sections. So now in this session we are going to learn section 9 of the CGST Act as well as section 5 of the IGST Act. Actually both content are same. Both content are same. Might be if you refer the section 9 talking about the intrastate supply, and section 5 is talking about the interstate supply. That is the difference, but the remaining concept could be remain same. So section 9 of the CGST Act concern levy or charge of GST. Charge of GST concern impose of GST, right? So actually we are going to learn section 9 of the CGST Act and section 5 of the IGST Act. That is called levy and collection of GST. Section 9 of the CGST Act as well as section 5 of the IGST Act. Before learning of the charging section, first of all let me understand the concept of what is an intrastate supply and interstate supply. What is an intrastate supply and interstate supply? And as we know, when a supply taken place, wherever there is a concept of the supply, there we are liable for payment of GST. Whether a transaction is a supply or not, we can identify by referring to the section 7. By referring to the section 7, we can say that whether a transaction is a supply or not. When it became a supply, yes, we are liable for payment of GST. But before payment of the GST, first we have to ensure whether it is an intrastate supply or interstate supply. Intrastate or interstate. Sir, how can we say whether a supply is an intrastate supply or interstate supply? Now in this session we are going to learn how to identify a supply as an intrastate supply and interstate supply. I think generally we have a knowledge about like this, where the supplier location, and the second one place of supply, where the supplier location and the place of supply both are in same state, or union territory, it shall be treated as an intrastate supply. It shall be treated as an intrastate. Is it? And as we know, where the supplier location, that is interstate supply concern, supplier location and the place of supply, supplier location and the place of supply are in two different states or in two different union territories, or the third one, state to union territory, or union territory to union territory. There we can say that such supply as an interstate supply. Is it clear? I think this is the concept which we learned in the first chapter itself, right? The intrastate supply and interstate supply. Now we are going to learn some more conceptually in this chapter, how to consider whether a supply as an intrastate supply or interstate supply, right? So let me start with the concept of charge of GST now, out of which the first we are going to start with the content of extent and commencement of the acts. The first one, the CGST Act applicable to whole of India, SGST Act applicable to states of India, CGST applicable to all the states, and SGST Act applicable to all the states, and IGST also applicable to all the states. And the second one, UTGST Act. UTGST Act applicable to union territories and total whole of India. Is it? That is nothing but UTGST Act applicable to all the union territories, and CGST Act also applicable to all the union territories. But whereas SGST Act not applicable to the union territories. SGST Act applicable to the only states, only to the states, and CGST Act applicable to the states as well as union territory. And now interlinked to the UTGST union territories, UTGST Act will be applicable. Are getting my word? And now the third element concern union territories with the state legislature. Even though Delhi, Jammu and Kashmir and Puducherry are the union territories, still they have a own legislation, so that they are making their own laws, so that instead of following up the UTGST Act, they are following SGST Act, so that union territories with the state legislature, SGST Act applicable and CGST Act applicable and IGST. Are getting my word? See here, just we are discussing about the applicability of the act. The first, CGST Act applicable to all the states, all union territories with state legislature, and union territory without state legislature. But whereas SGST Act concerned, SGST Act applicable to states. Number two, union territories with the state legislature. And now the SGST Act not applicable to the union territories. Next, UTGST Act. UTGST Act not applicable to the states, and the union territories with state legislature not applicable. So UTGST Act applicable only to the union territories without state legislature. That means these are the union territories which following UTGST Act. And next, IGST Act concern. IGST Act applicable to the states. And number two, union territories with the state legislature. And the third one, union territories without state legislature. Is it clear? So these are the applicability of the acts. Are getting my word? Otherwise, see here. CGST Act applicable to states. Number two, union territory with own legislation. And number three, union territories also. That is applicability of the CGST Act. And next, SGST Act concern. SGST Act applicable to number one, to the states. And number two, union territory with own legislation. Union territory with own legislation. Those are the states of Delhi, Pondicherry or Puducherry, and Jammu and Kashmir. These three are the union territories, but still they are following their own act. They are preparing their own state act. So that even though these three are the union territories, these three union territories are following SGST Act. This is applicability of the SGST Act. The next one, UTGST Act. UTGST Act applicable to only to the union territories without state legislature. That means these are the union territories not preparing their own act. Those states are, as you know, Daman Dayu, Andaman Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep, right, Ladakh, Dadra and Nagar Haveli. Now it became single union territory, and other territories. What is the meaning of other territory? I will explain later. Till the time, please remember. This is the applicability of the CGST Act, SGST Act, and UTGST Act. Is it? Now, sir, what is an applicability of the IGST Act? Now, pause the video and note down. Next, IGST Act. IGST Act applicable to all. That is, IGST Act applicable to number 1, states, number 2, state with own legislature, number 3, sorry, not the state with own legislature, it is union territory with own legislature. And the next one, union territory without own legislature. Is it clear? So totally this is an applicability of the acts: CGST Act, SGST Act, UTGST Act, and IGST Act. Is it clear? And don't expect these are for 1 marks question in your examination, just for knowledge purpose. Now, state includes an union territory with legislature. Actually, the state concerned we may consider, just we have a 28 states in India. Not only the 28 states, but also the union territories with legislature also be considered as a state for the purpose of the GST Act. That means Delhi, Jammu and Kashmir, and Pondicherry. Generally, these three are the union territories. But for the purpose of the GST Act, we have to consider these three union territories as a state. Reason the definition given here: state include a union territory with legislature, right? And the next one, second one, union territory. Now, union territory goods and service tax extends to the union territories of the Andaman Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep, Dadra, Nagar Haveli, and Daman Diu. Now, the definition of the union territory. Union territory means the territory of the means of territory of the Andaman Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweeps, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, and Daman Diu. And as you are aware earlier, Dadra, Nagar Haveli, and Daman Diu are the two different union territories. Now, these two union territories are make as a one union territory for reducing of the administrative cost. Okay, let it be. And the next, Ladakh, Chandigarh, and other territory. These are the union territories. Now here you know what is Andaman Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep, Dadra, Nagar Haveli, Ladakh, and Chandigarh, you know. And now what is the meaning of the other territory? The other territory also be known as union territory. We will discuss. I will explain about it. Now here, explanation for this, for the purpose of this act, each of the territories specified in class A to F shall be considered to be separated union territory. Those are the separate union territories. And next, other territories include the definition of the other territory given here. The other territory includes territories other than those comprising in a state. So those are not the states, and those referred in subclass A to E. So excludes, what is other territory? The legislature not giving the meaning of other territory, but other territory excludes states. That means the 28 states are not the other territories, as well as the remaining territories are there, no, A to E, and again these elements also be excluded. Then what is the meaning of the other territory? We will discuss in the definition of India. I will explain here. Is it now the India definition concern? India. So let us assume this is India, okay, South India. Now this is called baseline. This is called baseline, and from the baseline to 12 nautical miles, it is called territorial. It is called territorial water. Territorial waters are forming part of India. Now generally we may have a presumption that only the India concerned only up to the baseline, is it? But remember, India is not end at the baseline. India concerned even in the sea water up to 12 nautical miles, still we can say that it is as a forming part of India. Totally up to 12 nautical miles. Even it may be a sea area, sea water up to 12 nautical miles, it is an Indian water. Suppose consider an example where a prime minister have a sovereign power not only up to the baseline, still he can exercise the same sovereign power up to 12 nautical miles. Suppose in Andhra Pradesh CM, he can exercise the power not only up to the Vizag, even up to 12 nautical miles in the sea area. Suppose Tamil Nadu CM concerned, the Tamil Nadu CM can exercise the power not only up to the Chennai baseline, even he can exercise the sovereign power up to 12 nautical miles of the sea water. And up to that part it is forming part of India. Up to that part it is forming part of the Tamil Nadu. Are you getting my word? So territorial waters are forming part of India. And the next 12 nautical miles, that is 24 nautical miles from the baseline, or next to 12 nautical miles, it is known as contiguous zone. See here, up to 12 nautical miles, up to 12 nautical miles territorial water, and next 12 nautical miles contiguous zone. Right, if any transaction taken place in territorial water, it will become supply. If any supply taken place in territorial water, it is a supply on which we are liable for payment of GST. Reason, India concern up to 12 nautical miles territorial water, and beyond the 12 nautical miles concern contiguous zone. The basic purpose for the classifying of the contiguous zone, it is to protect the India. Here up to 12 nautical miles, actually the police department have a jurisdiction up to 12 nautical miles, but when it crosses the 12 nautical miles, there the navy will get a power. Here the Indian police, that is the state police, the state police inspector, that is station inspector, will be there. No, you won't get the jurisdiction beyond the 12 nautical miles. Beyond the 12 nautical miles, navy will get a jurisdiction. Navy have a power, is it? That is contiguous zone up to 24 nautical miles. And next, the baseline to 200 nautical miles, up to 200 nautical miles, it is called exclusive economic zone. It is exclusive economic zone. The basic reason for classifying of this exclusive economic zone, it is here there will be an activity of extraction of the mineral oil or gas. Extraction of the mineral oil or gas. Now the question it is, whatever the mineral oil has been extracted here, whether the Indian government has a right to levy tax on it. Reason, India can exercise the power only up to 12 nautical miles, that is territorial water. If any transaction taken place beyond the 12 nautical miles, yes, such transaction might be a supply, but the Indian government don't have a power to levy GST. Now, then what we have to do? Again, the Indian government reserved the power beyond the 12 nautical miles, beyond the 12 nautical miles, if any transaction taken place in relating to the extraction of the mineral oil or natural gas, the Indian government has a right to levy tax or duty or GST on it, only in relating to the extraction of the mineral oil or natural gas, that too only up to 200 nautical miles, and beyond the 200 nautical miles it is called high seas or overseas. Here the Indian government don't have any power. Here all the countries have an equal power. If any country want to do any novel exercises or any other uh, research and development or any other activity in the high seas, the concerned country has to get the consent of the United Nations of India. That is, in high seas or overseas, all the countries have a equal right. So here, even in relating to the extraction of the mineral oil or natural gas, Indian government has the right to exercise the power only up to 200 nautical miles. That is, from the baseline within the 200 nautical miles, from the baseline within 200 nautical miles, if any person extracting any mineral oil or natural gas, there the Indian government has a right to levy. Indian government has a right to impose tax or duty on it. For that purpose, the power has been reserved as an exclusive economic zone. Are you getting my word? Good. And apart from that, this exclusive economic zone concern seabed and airspace. The exclusive economic zone concern the seabed, the water place seabed is there, no? The seabed and airspace is known as exclusive economic zone. But what about the subsoil? It is there. So subsoil is known as continental shelf. It is known as continental shelf up to 200 nautical miles. And as you are aware, 1 nautical mile equal to approximately 1.852 kilometers. 1 nautical mile equal to 1 nautical mile. In water, we won't use the word of the kilometers or miles. Instead of the kilometers or miles, we will use the word of nautical mile. Now 1 nautical mile means 1.852 kilometers, like this. So up to 12 nautical miles is the territorial water, and the next 12 nautical miles contiguous zone, and the next 200 nautical miles from the baseline, 200 nautical miles from the baseline, it is known as exclusive economic zone. And next, the subsoil area concerned, this is continental shelf up to 200 nautical miles, and beyond the 200 nautical miles it is high seas or overseas. Is it clear? Any doubt? Pause the video and note down. And the next one, now the question will arise, if a supply taken place from AP to Telangana, you can say it is a transaction in between AP to Telangana. Supplier location is located in Andhra Pradesh and the place of supply is located in Telangana, so that we can say that it is as an interstate supply. Any doubt? No. Now in the second situation, suppose the person who is located in Andhra Pradesh is rendering service in the territorial water. In the territorial water. Suppose a fisherman carrying fishing activity, right, at territorial water, and the person who is a technical person who is located in Andhra Pradesh, he is rendering services to the boat. Suppose there is a concept of the repair and maintenance or the boat repaired. Now the technical person rendering services at territorial water. Now here the supplier location, it is Andhra Pradesh. Now what is the place of supply? What is the place of supply? Here the place of supply, it is territorial water. What is the place of supply? Whether it is a state or union territory or which one? The supplier location is Andhra Pradesh. Yes, accepted. Then what is the place of supply? Territorial water. Territorial water is neither a state nor a union territory. Then how can we reckon whether it is as an intra or inter? Now, in this situation, we have to consider the nearest coastal area of the place. Now, the boat services rendered at the territorial water. Now, the boat is located nearest to the place of the Chennai port. Let us assume nearest to the coastal area. Coastal area concern, this is the sea area, right? The baseline, that is called coastal area. Now here the nearest coastal area is Chennai. Then the place of supply will become Tamil Nadu. So if any supply taken place in territorial water, or if any supply done from the territorial water, in such a situation the location has to be considered like as the nearest coastal area from where such service has been rendered or to where service has been rendered. Are getting my word? So if any transaction taken place in territorial water, we have to consider such transaction has been taken place in a state or union territory which is nearest to coastal area. Suppose from this boat area to Vizag we have a 200 kilometers, and from this boat to Chennai just it have a 120 kilometers. Now what is the nearest coastal area? Chennai. So that we have to consider this supply has been, and again 120 kilometers concern, it is a outside the concept of the territorial water. No, territorial water concern only 12 nautical miles, right? We should not go for beyond that. Now suppose let us assume from the boat area to Vizag approximately consider it is 10 kilometers, and let us assume from this boat area to Chennai just it is 4 kilometers. Then what will happen? It may be a hypothetical situation, but please consider the concept. Okay, now in this situation the nearest coastal area is Tamil Nadu. If the nearest coastal area is the Tamil Nadu, then the territorial water place or the transaction has been done at the Tamil Nadu. Is it clear? Now this is the situation. And the next one, suppose where a person rendered services at exclusive economic zone. This is high seas or overseas, as you know. Now, if any service done by a technical person in exclusive economic zone, let us assume he is the person who is located in Tamil Nadu. So that supplier location it is Tamil Nadu. Then what is the place of supply? Place of supply is an exclusive economic zone. Exclusive economic zone, and to the best of our knowledge it is not neither a state nor a union territory. Now how can we reckon whether it is an intra or inter? How to reckon whether it is an intra or inter? Please remember my words. This exclusive economic zone is known as other territory. Other territory concern the union territory. That is the definition which is covered under union territory. Union territory includes other territory. Other territory include territories other than those comprising in a state and those referred in subclasses, subclass A to E, right? So other territory excludes states and A to E. Then which place will be treated as another territory? Now the answer it is exclusive economic zone. What's that? Exclusive economic zone. Exclusive economic zone is other territory. Is it? That means we can consider it is as a union territory. So thereupon we can say that it is as an interstate supply. Supplier location and the place of supply. Supplier location is Tamil Nadu and the place of supply is other territory. Other territory is a union territory. So that it is an interstate supply. Are you getting my word? Right. Now. So that India concern up to 12 nautical miles is the territorial water. And next 12 nautical miles or 24 nautical miles from the baseline is known as contiguous zone. And next up to 200 nautical miles, it is exclusive economic zone. Seabed and airspace is known as exclusive economic zone. and the subsoil place is concerned continental shelf. And beyond the 200 nautical miles, it is called high seas or overseas. Is it clear? And the thing we have to remember, the exclusive economic zone area is known as other territory. The exclusive economic zone area is known as other territory. Is it clear? So India means the territory of India, its territorial waters, seabed and subsoil underlying such waters, and continental shelf, exclusive economic zone, and any other maritime zones as referred to in the territorial waters, continental shelf, exclusive economic zone, and other maritime zones Act 1976, and the airspace about its territory and territorial water. For that reason, wherever we are using territorial water concern 12 nautical miles, not only the seabed but also the airspace. And next, contiguous zone concern 24 nautical miles seabed and airspace. Is it clear? That means if you are doing any commercial activity in airspace, still the Indian government has a right to levy tax on it. Sir, can we do an activity in airspace, commercial activity? Why not? The loading or unloading of the fuel in between two aircrafts can be done in air. Suppose at the time of the war there is a new technology, the fuel can be filled by the other aircraft. That means easily can be shifted from one aircraft to other aircraft. Such activity will be done at the airspace. Now if such activity done in the territorial waters of the airspace, there the Indian government has a right to levy tax on it. Reason such commercial activity has been done in the airspace of the territorial water. Is it clear? And the next one, the definition of the supplier. The supplier. Supplier in relation to any goods or services or both shall means the person supplying said goods or services or both. Simply we can say that the person who is supplying the good or service is known as supplier. Take an example. The restaurant person supplying service, he is a supplier. Being a cost accountant, you are rendering services after your practice, after getting of your qualification. Now there you are the supplier. Is it clear? So where a person supplying the good or service is known as supplier. And the next, and it includes an agent acting as such on behalf of the such supplier in relation to the goods or services or both supplier. Now here, where a person is a principal, he obtained the registration under the GST Act, and when he is liable for payment of the GST, we can say that he is as a supplier. Now on behalf of him, where an agent getting an order, where agent getting orders from the public, now we have to say the agent place also be a supplier. Reason he is acting on behalf of the principal. Is it? He is also be a supplier. And the next one, recipient. Who is the recipient? Now you can easily say the person who is getting goods or services. The person who purchasing or receiving goods or service is known as recipient. No, it is a wrong thing. Under the GST, recipient concern. If there is a consideration, the person who is liable for payment of the consideration. The recipient concern. Who is the recipient? If any transaction taken place with consideration, and the second one without consideration. If transaction taken place with consideration, then the person who is liable for payment of the such consideration is known as the recipient. So person, not the person who is receiving goods or services, the person who is liable for payment of consideration is known as recipient. Suppose take an example. At the restaurant I am getting tiffin. So there I am the person who is liable for payment of the consideration, so that I am the recipient. Is it? Suppose my friend came to the restaurant, I offered tea or food item to him. Suppose a student came to the restaurant, I offered food or tea or coffee to him. Might be the restaurant person delivering food or any other food stuff to the my friend or student. Now hereby I am the person who gave in the order. I am the person who is liable for payment of the consideration to the restaurant. In such a situation, the food item may be delivered to some other, but here I am the person who is liable for payment of the consideration, so that I am the recipient. Are you getting my word? Suppose consider another example. At the directions of the holding company, a person rendering service to the subsidiary. Here, actually the services has been received by the subsidiary company, but who is liable for payment of the consideration? Holding. Reason, the holding company given a direction to the technical person to render the services to the subsidiary. Here, even the services has been received by the subsidiary, the person who is liable for payment of the consideration, in our example, holding, so that holding company will become recipient. Are you getting my word? And again the same question I will ask in the different areas, but remember, you will give a wrong answer. It's my challenge. Please remember this question. What is the question? Who is the recipient? Just I will ask a question like, who is the recipient? And there you will get an ambiguous situation. Okay, who is getting the good and who is receiving the service? Who purchasing the good? Who receiving the services? You will think like that, but you should not. Wherever you are getting the word of the recipient, first you have to classify whether there is a consideration or not. If there is a consideration, the person who is liable for payment of the consideration is known as recipient. If there is no consideration, then the person to whom goods or services has been rendered or made available. Suppose, as you know, in relating to the some transactions, even if there is no consideration as per schedule 1, it will become a supply. In those situations there is no consideration, then who is the recipient? If there is a consideration, the person who is liable for payment of the consideration is known as recipient. Suppose if there is no consideration, then who will be the recipient? In such a situation, the person to whom the goods or services has been delivered or rendered, such person is known as recipient. Is it clear? Now recipient, where a consideration is payable for the supply of the goods. In relating to the goods or services, both, the person who is liable to pay that consideration. And the second one, where no consideration is payable for the supply of the goods, then the person to whom the goods are delivered or made available, or to whom possession or use of the goods has been given. And next, where no consideration is payable for the supply of service, then the person to whom the service is rendered, or and any reference to a person to whom supply is made shall be considered as a reference to the recipient of supply. So simply we can say that if there is a consideration, the person who is liable for payment of the consideration is known as recipient. If there is no consideration, the person to whom good has been delivered, the person to whom service has been rendered is known as recipient. Is it clear? So that in this chapter we discuss the definition of the state. State generally, state means states, that's it, 28 states, but it include union territory with legislature. Union territory with legislature, that is nothing but Delhi, Pondicherry and Jammu and Kashmir. And next, union territory concern. Union territory concern, these are the union territories: Andaman Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep, Dadra, Nagar Haveli and Daman Diu, Ladakh, Chandigarh and other territory. Here the other territory concern exclusive economic zone. Other than the states and other than these union territories, then which one is the other territory? Exclusive economic zone. And next we discuss the definition of the India, supplier and recipient. Is it? Pause the video and go through once up to this part. Right. Now we are going to start with the concept of the interstate supply as per section 7 of the IGST Act. And we know that interstate supply concern where a supply taken place in between two states or two union territories or state to union territory or union territory to union territory, it shall be treated as a interstate supply. Is it? Now we are going to learn by referring to the section 7 of the IGST Act. Section 7 of the IGST Act deals with interstate supply. Now, section 7 subsection 1 of the IGST Act. Section 7 subsection 1 of IGST Act. Subject to the provisions of section 10. Forget about the section 10. Actually, section 10, 11, 12 and 13 of IGST Act deals about place of supply. We will discuss at the final level. What is the meaning of the place of supply and the importance of the place of supply, we will discuss about the final level. So that subject to the provisions of the section 10. Supply of the goods. Supply of the goods. Here that is nothing but 7 subsection 1 is talking about the goods. Supply of the goods, where the location of the supplier and the place of supply are in 2 different states or 2 union territories or state to union territory, shall be treated as a supply of the goods in the course of interstate trade or commerce. So interstate supply concern in relation to the goods where the location of the supply and the place of supply are in 2 different states or 2 different union territories or state to union territory shall be treated as an interstate supply. That is 7 subsection 1. Now 7 subsection 2 concern supply of the goods imported into the territory of India till they cross the custom frontiers of India shall be treated to be a supply of the goods in the course of interstate trade or commerce. And again it is a concept is in relating to the goods, right? The second one, 7 subsection 2 concern. 7 subsection 2 concern, let me explain. Right, goods are imported into India. After unloading of the goods, these goods will be placed in the customs area. Right, now the importer actually he has to clear the goods from the customs department, and as we know, when he is making clearance from the customs area, he is liable for payment of the customs duty and GST, etc. Is it? But before clearance of the goods, suppose where Mr. Z, he is willing to buy the goods from the importer. Now the importer he delivered the document of title to the goods in favor of the Mr. Z. And as you know, for clearance of the goods from the customs department, we have to present a document which is called bill of entry. It is called bill of entry. It is a document of title to the goods. Now the importer transferred bill of entry in favor of the Mr. Z. Is it? Suppose taken an example, the importer located in Tamil Nadu as well as Mr. Z also be located in Tamil Nadu. Actually the goods are at the customs area, but importer sold the goods to Mr. Z by transfer of document of title to goods. Now whether it is an intra or inter, when the goods are at the customs area before crossing of the custom frontiers, that is before crossing of the customs station, if the goods are sold by one person to another person, it shall be treated as a interstate. Even though supplier and the recipient might be located in the same state, but still we have to consider it is as a interstate supply. So before crossing of the custom frontiers of India, where the importer selling those goods to some other person by transfer of document of title to goods, it shall be treated as a interstate supply. That is the content of the 7 subsection 2. Is it clear? Pause the video and note down. This is customs frontier, right? And the next one, 7 subsection 3. Subject to the provisions of section 12. Again I am saying that section 10, 11, 12 and 13 of the IGST Act deals with place of supply. We will discuss at the final level. Now here, supply of service. Okay, 7 subsection 1 and 7 subsection 2 is talking about goods. Now 7 subsection 3 about the service. Supply of the service where the location of the supplier and the place of supply are in two different states or two different union territories or state and the union territory, it shall be treated as a supply of the service in the course of interstate trade or commerce. So interlinked to the service where the supply taken place in between the two states or in between two union territories or state to union territory or union territory to state, it shall be treated as a interstate supply. It shall be treated as interstate supply. Actually 7 subsection 1 and 7 subsection 3 both are same, but it is about the goods. 7 subsection 1 is about the good and 7 subsection 3 is about the services. And next 7 subsection 4, supply of service imported into the territory of India shall be treated to be a supply of service in the course of interstate trade or commerce. Right? Suppose take an example. Where a company which is located in India and the technical person who is located in Japan, now he is the supplier and the recipient is located in India, and on remote basis, that is through online, the person who is located in Japan, he is rendering service. Now this is the concept of import of service. This is the concept of import of service where the supplier located in Japan and the recipient is located in India, and the supplier rendering services through online. It is the concept of the import of service. The import of service shall be treated as interstate supply. It shall be treated as interstate supply. So when it became an interstate supply, we are liable for payment of IGST. This is the content of 7 subsection 4. The import of service shall be treated as an interstate supply, so that on import of service we are liable for payment of IGST. Sir, the customs duty, remember my words, customs duty levied on import of the goods. Import or export of the goods, only on the goods customs duty will be levied. In relating to the service, there is no concept of the customs duty. In relating to the import of service, just we are liable for payment of IGST. Sir, import of service IGST, why? By referring to the 7 subsection 4, import of service shall be treated as a interstate supply. Is it clear? And the last one, 7 subsection 5. Before referring to the 7 subsection 5, first 7 subsection 1, it is in relating to the goods, interstate supply of the goods. And the second one, before imported goods, before crossing of the custom frontiers of India, if the importer selling those goods to any other person by transfer of document of title to goods, it shall be treated as a interstate supply. And next 7 subsection 3, it is in relating to the services, interstate supply of the services. And next 7 subsection 4, import of service shall be treated as a interstate supply. Now 7 subsection 5, it is about goods as well as services. Supply of the goods or services are both. Number 1, when the supplier is located in India and the place of supply is outside India, it shall be treated as an interstate supply. Can you say what is the nature of transaction? This one, when the supplier is located in India and the place of supply located outside India, what is the nature of transaction? Any answer? Any answer? Export of goods or service. Export of goods or service shall be treated as an interstate supply. Please remember, when the supplier is located in India and the place of supply is outside India, it is an export of the goods or service. As per 7 subsection 5, it shall be treated as a interstate supply. Is it? Let me discuss whether we are liable for payment of the IGST or not. We will discuss later. But first, it is an interstate supply. And the next one, 7 subsection 5 clause B. supply of the goods or services are both to or by special economic zone developer or special economic zone unit shall be treated as an interstate supply. Shall be treated as an interstate supply. It's one of the beautiful example. See here. Let us assume it is India and let us assume it is Andhra Pradesh, where a person is located in Tirupati. He is making supplies to a person who is located in Vizag. Actually, Tirupati is located in Andhra Pradesh as well as Vizag is located in Andhra Pradesh. Generally, it is an intra. Reason the supplier location and the place of supply both are in same state. It is an intrastate supply. Now, in Chittoor, there is a special economic zone which is called Sri City. Right? Chittoor. It is also be an Andhra Pradesh, but it is special economic zone. It is special economic zone. Now, the person who is located in Tirupati, he is making supplies to the special economic zone. That is a person who is located in special economic zone or sedge developer. That is who is developing the sedge area. Now, whether it is an intrastate or interstate. Generally, we may say that, sir, it is an intrastate. Reason, the supplier is located in Tirupati and the place of supply is in Chittoor. Both are located in Andhra Pradesh. No, it is an intrastate. No. When a person making any supplies to the sedge or sedge developer, it shall be treated as a interstate supply. As per 7 subsection 5 clause B, it is an interstate. So where a person located in a state, if he is making any supplies to the sedge or sedge developer, who is located in the same state, even it shall be treated as a interstate supply. That is the intention of the legislature. Is it clear? Note down. Pause the video and note down. And the next one, 7 subsection 5 clause C. Supply of the goods or services are both in the taxable territory, not being an intrastate supply, and not covered elsewhere in this section. That means it is neither an intrastate supply and it is not covered as an interstate supply up to 7 subsection 5 clause B. Then it shall be treated as a supply of the good or service or both in the course of interstate trade or commerce. Understand, this is the logical provision 7 subsection 5 clause C. In the taxable territory, not being an intrastate supply, it is not an intrastate supply, as well as it is not covered elsewhere in this section. That means it is not notified either as an interstate. That means it is neither an intra nor an interstate supply notified under section 7. Then those transactions are interstate supplies. Array here, it is not notified as an intrastate supply under section 8 of the IGST Act, as well as up to 7 subsection 5 clause B, nowhere it is specified as an interstate. Then those transactions shall be treated as an interstate supply. Sir, any example for this situation? Yes, obviously. See here, where a person who is located in exclusive economic zone is extracting mineral oil and is making supplies to the Tamil Nadu. Is it? Now whether it is an intrastate supply or interstate supply, and nowhere it is specified as an intra, and nowhere it has been specified as an inter, but the exclusive economic zone place it is other territory, then this supply is known as interstate supply, being it is neither notified as an intra and nor notified as an interstate supply, so that by virtue of 7 subsection 5 clause C, we can say that it is as an interstate supply. When it is an interstate supply, we are liable for payment of IGST. Is it clear? Pause the video and note down. Now, So these are the provisions in relating to the section 7 interstate supply. Interstate supply, section 7 of the IGST Act. Next we are going to discuss section 8 intrastate supply. What's the concept? Intrastate supply. See here 8 subsection 1 intrastate supply. Right. So intrastate supply, section 8 of the IGST Act deals with intrastate supply. Remember section 7 of the IGST Act deals with interstate supply. Right. 8 subsection 1 subject to the provision of section 10 we will discuss later. Now supply of the goods, where the location of the supplier and the place of supply of the goods are in same state or same union territory, it shall be treated as a intrastate supply. And again remember 7 subsection 1 sorry 8 subsection 1, it is about the goods. If the supplier location and the place of supply both are in same state, it is an intrastate supply of the goods. Now provided that following supply of the goods shall not be treated as an intrastate supply. So these are the elements, it won't be treated as an intrastate supply. What are those things? Number 1, supply of the goods to or by special economic zone developer or special economic zone, it won't be treated as an intrastate supply, it shall be treated as a interstate supply. Where it is notified? 7 subsection 5 clause B. Is it? See here, supply of the good or services are both to or by special economic zone developer or special economic zone. Even though supplier and sage both are located in the same state, still it is an interstate supply, it is not an intra. And the second one, goods imported into the territory of India till they cross the custom frontiers of India. So goods are imported into India, but before clearing for home consumption, if those goods are sold by the importer to the some other person by transfer of document of title to goods, it shall be treated as an interstate supply. And where we discussed it is 7 subsection 2. Is it? So this is excluded from the definition of the intrastate supply, so that it is also be an interstate, but where it is notified? 7 subsection 2. And the next one, supplies made to a tourist referred to in section 15. Again section 15 of the IGST Act deals with supplies made to a tourist. Supplies made to a tourist shall be treated as an interstate supply. Are you getting my word? Actually the tourist, the person, the tourist concerned, the person who visit in India, that is he came to India on tourism basis, and again he will goes to his hometown or home country. Now when the tourist coming to India and if he is purchasing any goods or if he is getting any services in India, it shall be treated as an interstate supply. The reason behind, when the tourist going to outside India, whatever the taxes he paid in relating to the goods, he can claim such tax amount as a refund. For that purpose, the tourist has to maintain the tax invoice. For that purpose, he has to maintain a tax invoice, so that if any supply is made to a tourist, it shall be treated as an interstate supply. And again the section 15 of the IGST Act we will discuss later, but till the time just remember this example. Any supplies made to a foreign tourist, any supplies made to a foreign tourist, it shall be treated as an interstate supply. Is it clear? So 8 subsection 1 concern, where in relating to the goods, where the supplier location and the place of supply both are in same state or same union territory, it shall be treated as an intrastate supply. But the following supply of the goods shall not be treated as an intrastate. What are those things? The number 1, supply of the goods to or by such or such developer, it is an interstate. Number 2, goods imported into India. Before crossing up the customs frontier, if the importer selling same goods to a person, even he is located in same state, it shall be treated as an interstate supply by virtue of 7 subsection 2. And next, supplies made to a foreign tourist shall be treated as an interstate supply. Is it? And now 8 subsection 2. And again it is in relating to the services. Supply of the services where the location of the 8 subsection 2 about the service. Where the location of the supplier and the place of supply of the service are in same state or union territory, it shall be treated as an intrastate supply. Is it? Provided that the intrastate supply of the service shall not include supply of the services to or by such or such developer, it won't be treated as an intra, it will become an interstate by virtue of 7 subsection 5 clause B. Is it? And the next one, explanation 1, for the purpose of this act, where a person has an establishment in India and another establishment outside India. Okay, this explanation content we will discuss later. But 8 subsection 2, 8 subsection 1 is about the goods, 8 subsection 2 about the service. Whether 8.1 or 8.2, supplier and the the supplier and the place of supply both are in same state or union territory, it shall be treated as an intrastate supply. Is it? The next one, section 9. Now the content which provided here, the explanation 1 and the explanation 2 we will discuss later, right? Now we are going to discuss section 9. I think so already we discussed section 9 of the IGST Act in the definition of India, right? Let's read. Now section 9 of the IGST Act, supplies in territorial water. Notwithstanding anything contained in this act, where the location of the supplier is in territorial water, then the location of the such supplier, or where the place of supply is in territorial water, then the place of supply shall be for the purpose of this act be deemed to be in the coastal state or coastal union territory where the nearest point of the appropriate baseline is located. That is, when you are making supplies in territorial water, right, or when you are receiving any supply from the territorial water, then what is the place of the territorial water? The territorial water is in a state or union territory. How we can identify? The place of the territorial water will be either a state or union territory which is nearest to coastal area. That is the state. We have to presume that such supply has been made from such state, or such supply has been made to such a state or union territory. Are getting my word? I think so already have a clarity about this provision. Already we discussed in the definition of the India, but still let me explain. Suppose where a person is located in territorial water and you are making supply from Telangana, right? The person who is located in Telangana, he is providing services to the person who is located in territorial water. Now here the supplier location is Telangana, and what is the place of supply? What is the place of supply? In this situation we have to identify what is the nearest to coastal area. Now from this territorial water to Vizag, let us assume 10 nautical miles, and this territorial water to Chennai, let us assume 40 kilometers. Maybe nearest to the territorial water of the Vizag, but it may be far away from the Chennai, no? So that 40 nautical miles. In such a situation we have to consider this place of supply as a Vizag, that is Andhra Pradesh. Why we are saying that Andhra Pradesh has a place of supply? Nearest to coastal area is Vizag. Vizag is located in Andhra Pradesh, so that the place of supply is Andhra Pradesh. This is the content of section 9 of the IGST Act. Pause the video and note down. Is it clear? And one more thing, while I'm explaining an example, if there is any missing of the content, please note down those such content in your own words. To the extent possible, here I'm explaining the example in practical. So the link up words or link up sentences, please note down in your own words. Is it? So section 9 content. Is it? And again there is some other content of the input tax credit, etc. We will discuss later. Right? So just we completed the content, section 7 and section 8, section 9 of the IGST Act. Section 7 of the IGST Act talking about interstate supply, section 8 talking about intrastate supply, and section 9 supplies in territorial waters, section 9 of the IGST Act. Is it clear? So in the next session we are going to start with charge of GST, section 9 of the CGST Act as well as section 5 of the IGST Act. Is it clear? So that's all for the day. Remaining concept we will discuss in the next class. Have a nice day.